Hi there, thanks for joining me today. Oh, wrong one. Hold on, it's not this one. I don't have a book haul. Had one, but don't have a book haul. Welcome to a bit of my day. If you're new here, I'm Catherine. I make journals, usually out of old books, occasionally out of vintage books, which are still old if you ask a young person. They're not old to me. And then sometimes I actually make the book cover and the contents. This time I'm making, this is a vintage book. And this book, I spent the morning with my hair dryer peeling all this, I don't know, cellophane off of it. Whoa, what a lot of work. There was more than this. I got started on it a few months ago, and then I got sidetracked. I think Christmas happened, and then life happened. And so I decided, you know what? It's time to make this book. And it's one of those books that I found it at a thrift store out in a little town near us, near where I live, called Cobourg. It's a beautiful little town. My parents lived there for many years, and it's a beautiful little town. And named after Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg. And so there's a lot of reference to them in the town, like the town hall is called Victoria Hall, that sort of thing. Anyhow, there's a store in Cobourg that's run by the Animal Society, the animal shelter. And I'm going to sneeze. All right, I think we're okay. I went and turned the camera off instead of just hit pause, but we'll figure it all out. I'll splice them together now that I know how to do that. Yay! Anyhow, there's a thrift store there run by the Animal Rescue Center. And so I spotted this book, fell in love with it, but it was certainly more than I usually am willing to spend on a book. Because it's still a risk when you're making a junk journal. I have had times where I have ruined a cover, which is now why I make sure I do the cover first before I start making the insides, because I used to get started on the pages and things like that, and then if you ruin the cover, all those pages that you've made in that size, what are they good for? You've ruined the cover. And I wasn't sure about this one because I wasn't sure whether it was a library that had it and had to put this seal on, or whether the publisher had done it. I don't think a library did it because there was no number tag at the bottom here. But I thought it was worth it to try, at least, because it was so pretty. So let's turn her over and show her to you and see if you agree. Even though she's got a bit of a scar on her, I think it adds to her. Why are they always she? It's called The Bookshelf for Boys and Girls, the Manual of Child Development. And there is the cover. How pretty is that? I love the yellow. I love the red. and I wasn't sure whether there's a gash here. And that's how I figured out that this was on it, because it was peeling off. And I didn't know whether I would be able to safely get it all off without just completely, totally damaging the book. And fortunately, at the store, I explained to the lady what I planned on doing. And I said, do you mind if I try and lift a little here and see if more of this will come off? And she said, you know what, go ahead and give it a try and see, which I appreciated her letting me try. And sure enough, it looked like it was going to lift, and I thought maybe with a little bit of heat that might do it. And sure enough, look at that, we got it completely off. Now I think I will seal it eventually once I've got all of it off. I still see little bits here and there that I'm going to every now and then just scratch away at it. But it's so pretty. Is that just the prettiest cover? It's a big book, so 7 1/4 by 9 1/2 by 1 3/4. That's a big book. This is going to be another big one, like Violet one. So anyhow, so now it's time to work on this one. Who knows what her name, his or her name will be. But I do need to be able to get the end papers off, because that plastic is still underneath there. And the best way I found, because I got started on the back, is to pull this up, because then I can get at this plastic from this side. See what I mean? And then the rest of it comes off quite easily. And then we will put down new pretty end papers for this sweet book. This would have been a nice Mother's Day book, wouldn't it? With that little family on the front. So this is going to be the next one. Now I'm hoping I have one video done. The flip through for Wonderfully Good I finished, but now I need to get the flip through done for the Fairy Queen, and then hopefully later this week, or maybe by the weekend, I'll put both of those into my Etsy shop, and then they can go to their new homes if they seem to be something someone would like. They're a little different than what I usually make, so I don't know what to expect, whether that's the kind of book you, my lovely followers, are interested in or not. I guess we'll see, but I sure enjoyed making them, so I'm hoping that someone out there likes them as much as I do, because I'd certainly like to make more. I think I will work on this one at the same time as I And I will also work on, I'm really excited about making, there we go. I'm really excited about making a one of those flip-flop journals that Johanna made. And she made her covers for her flip-flop journal, and I want to use a little book. I've got a lot of little books here on my shelf. And I think I want to put an old cover as the cover, but little, and still make it into a flip-flop book. Anyhow, I guess I can do this part. This isn't terribly exciting. If you're new here and wondering what I'm doing is so that you can have more room to lay down your new end papers. And I think I may have found the end papers I want to use. I'm trying to decide whether to tea dye them or not. My friend Jeanette, who I mentioned, came over and gave me like 3 bags of scrapbooking supplies. She, in one of the papers was 2 of these, and I really, really love it. It looks, I love paper. I love scrapbook paper, any paper that looks like old wallpaper. And that looks like, I think my mother would have given a thumbs up to put this in the bathroom. It would have matched our tub, toilet, and sink. So right now I'm thinking that, and I'm thinking for the new text block, this beautiful fabric that Amanda sent, I think would look really pretty. I think those would all look really nice together. And the little tiny yellow flowers would look nice with the yellow background here. And you know what? Some people might think that this little damage that happened, I don't know if you can see right there, disqualifies this book for being a junk journal. But I think it makes it all the more deserving to become a junk journal, because first of all, it's not in quality, you know, like resellable condition. It's a collector would not want it in that condition. I'll save that paper. So this is exactly the kind of book that us junk journalers jump at the chance to give it a new life and another opportunity to be wonderful. Now, what is the... Oh, let's take this out. Why not? We'll use that too. I love that. Enjoy your child. 1948. So it looks like the first one Child Welfare Man. It looks like the first one was 1916, and then they did other editions. Sometimes these can be a little bit nerve-wracking for me. Sometimes there's just there's things now that we know to be inappropriate. Oh, look at the chart for appropriate weights. All right, let's see where mine fit in. All right, my last baby was 12 pounds, 3 ounces. So, under 1 month old. Oh, I don't know how this works. Under 6 years of age. Average weights by height. Oh, so by 1 month, yeah, a child could be up to 14 pounds. Most of mine were. Oh, well. Anyhow, part of me wondered, like 1948, that was the era of where they went through a stage. Oh, isn't that pretty? They went through a stage where they were thinking formula was the superior way to feed your child. And all the modern mothers were formula feeding. And I remember my mother telling me that when she and my dad got married and my oldest brother was on the way, she had several cousins and her sister-in-law. They were all expecting. The war was over and people were making babies. You know, the men were home and making babies. And they were all going to be doing the new, better bottle feeding. And my mom said, we couldn't afford formula. It was very expensive. The supplies were expensive. Back then you made your formula. The doctor gave you the recipe and you boiled it up, and then you sterilized the bottles, and then you put it in the bottles, and then you sterilized them again with the formula inside, and it was a whole lot of work. And her doctor that she had at the time said, don't worry about that. You can feed your baby yourself just fine. And so she did, but she said she was embarrassed. She was embarrassed to tell anyone that she was breastfeeding her child. And he was lusciously chubby and healthy and just a beautiful baby. Oh my goodness, my mother made beautiful babies. And my brothers were just, all three of them, chubby little curly blonde-haired babies. I was the only one who came out with jet black hair. The other three, beautiful curly blonde-haired babies. Anyhow, she was, her closest cousin had a baby the same month as my brother was born. And she named her baby Ricky. Not Richard, his name was Ricky. And Ricky was on bottles. And Mom said she remembered her cousin saying, I can't believe you're not bottle feeding Jerry. My mom's name was Jerry, short for Geraldine. And that was when my mom knew that she just sort of tried not to bring it up when she was out somewhere with my brother. But then she very quickly learned through my aunt. My poor aunt had twins. Thanks, Auntie. She's the one who gave it to me. And my grandmother, she had twins. And that's where the fraternal twins came from. Ended up bottle feeding because her twins were in the NICU for so long. Anyhow, my mother very quickly figured out how easy it was to nurse her babies. And it was there, it was ready, and her babies were gaining weight beautifully and not getting all the tummy upsets that her friends and cousins and her older brother had gotten married and was starting a family, so her other sister-in-law. She very quickly figured out that here she had made this decision and didn't want anyone to know because they were poor. And then she quickly figured out, you know what? I don't care who I tell because my life's a whole lot easier. And her babies were healthy. And so we were a very rare little group of children, my brothers and I, to not be bottle fed during that era. It wasn't until later that they started encouraging moms again to start at least trying to nurse their babies. Certainly fed is best. I firmly believe in that. For whatever reason, there's a multitude of reasons why bottle feeding is the way to go. So I always go by I like that saying, fed is best. But, I'm going to move my camera up. But, it just turns out that if you can nurse, wowee. It's hard at first, and once you've got it established, whoa, easy peasy. I looked forward very much during all my pregnancies to nursing my babies. I even nursed my twins. And I was glad to see in this book that it actually encouraged moms to nurse their babies. I thought that it would be encouraging new mothers to, the newfangled mixing up your formula. You used to have to buy cans of carnation milk and add corn syrup and cod liver oil and boiled water. Everything got boiled and sterilized. And there we go. And my mom was right. Boy, oh boy, I never had to worry about, had it been too long? Had the bottle been in my diaper bag for too long? Was it still okay? Because it was fresh and ready. And they got fat and healthy, and it was nice. It was a nice little time just for my babies and I. There we go. Alrighty. So I did that just to be safe. I think because whoever put that layer of cellophane or whatever it is on it, there, we'll save that too. I was worried about where I would be cutting. See, I can still see cellophane here that's got to come off. There's still quite a bit of work to do on this little beauty, but it's going to be well worth it. And then I need to go and pick out which one is going to be the book that I make into a flip-flop journal. Oh, this is making me nervous. I don't want to rip that hinge, but I know that's got to come up. Oh, I may have to do that off screen. I think the extra glue from whoever put that cellophane on has made this extra challenging. Well, I hope you're all doing well. Except for allergies. Allergy season. Do you suffer with allergies? My poor husband's having a terrible spring with allergies. They'll be barking very soon. When he comes in the door, you'll hear my little alarm system go off over there because it'll mean Daddy's home, and that's time for great celebration. So, let's see here. All the work that's involved in creating a junk journal. Boy, oh boy. You'd think, oh, that's cheating, using an old cover rather than making a cover. This is where, if it weren't for journalers such as myself and many others that actually show their process, you don't realize that it's not necessarily the easy way. Oh, this one's coming up better. It's not necessarily the easier way to go about creating a junk journal by using an old book cover. Oh, there's my alarm system. All right, I guess that's telling me that it's time to say goodbye, and we'll get together again a little later this week. So there we go. There's the newest journal that we're going to be making together. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you're doing well. And yeah, we'll get together soon. Take care. Bye.